So I've decided to start this new series that'll be called Star Wars History, where I explain the history of maybe a character or a ship or anything like that, and just kind of go over it. And today we'll be starting with the Star Destroyer. So we'll go over all the versions of the Star Destroyer in all the different movies that we've seen, and basically the history of it and how it improved over the years. So to start off, we have the Venator class Star Destroyer. And the Venator class Star Destroyer was the Star Destroyer used by the Republic in the Clone Wars. Now, mostly when you think Star Destroyer, you think the Empire. However, the Star Destroyer was originally used by the Republic because, of course, the Empire was a legitimate successor to the Republic. Most of the Republic's vehicles you can actually see used by the Empire or kind of successors to those ships, more updated versions, which is, used by the Empire, which is what happened with the Star Destroyer. So originally, the Star Destroyer was used by the Republic, and of course identified by that big red stripe. The Republic is often identified with red, red and white, and then the Separatists often had blue ships. So obviously, this is, of course, the first model of Star Destroyer used by the Republic. I think it was also the smallest model of the Star Destroyer used, because obviously it was the first. And this model of Star Destroyer can be seen in Episode 2, at the very tail end of Episode 2, when, you kind of have the ending sequences, and you can see Palpatine and other members of the Senate looking down on the clones. The clones are getting loaded onto these Star Destroyers. That's their first appearance in a movie, because of course that's when the Clone Wars started. And then they can be seen a lot in Episode 3, because of course Episode 3 takes place in the middle of the Clone Wars, so you can see Star Destroyers fighting the Separatist forces. They're most notably seen in the Battle of Coruscant, or Battle over Coruscant, which is in the start of Episode 3, which is the death of Count Dooku, by the way. They can be seen fighting Separatist ships. They can also be seen a lot in the Star Wars TV animated series, which is Star Wars The Clone Wars. So yeah, the Venator class ship, the Venator class Star Destroyer, was the first Star Destroyer, and also used by the Republic. Now, the second type of Star Destroyer is probably the one most people are familiar with, and this is, of course, the Empire Star Destroyer, the Star Destroyer that was used by the Empire, and this is, of course, the iconic ship. It appeared in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, which was the first Star Wars movie ever made. So this is, of course, that classic ship. It was kind of, just up there with the Death Star, with being an iconic part of Star Wars. And this was the successor to the Venator-class ship, the Venator-class Republic Star Destroyer, and of course it is improved. It's a lot bigger. It has a lot better firepower. So definitely a lot better of a ship. I think it is an improvement from the Venator-class Star Destroyer, and this can be seen, of course, in Star Wars Episode 4, and I believe all throughout the original trilogy as well.